Okay, hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about tarot, what you need to know and everything. Ignore the background noise if you can hear like an AC. It's really hot in here, okay? And no, I'm not taking off my hoodie. It's so comfortable. I really don't care. We're going to be going over the differences. What is the difference between tarot and oracle? Because it's not the same. It's two different things. So let's get started immediately. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Ivan the Chaos Witch, also known as Ivan Couture, so welcome or welcome back to my channel. I teach witchcraft and much more on Patreon. I'll link it down below. But, okay, so let's go over the first thing that you need to know. Anyone can do it. No matter religion, sexuality, gender, anyone can read tarot. Anyone. You do not have to, like, be born into a family that reads tarot or, I don't know, be super psychic or anything. Even if you don't have psychic abilities, which everyone does, just some people are like have far more strength in them, you know, have far more enhanced psychic abilities than other people, and I teach on Patreon how to enhance them, link down below in the psychic Patreon. But as I was saying, you do not need to be born into a witch family or anything. Anyone can learn tarot, anyone can read tarot. You also do not need to be gifted your first tarot deck. Mine was gifted, but you do not have to be gifted. That is, I don't know who the fuck made that shit up, but no. Because, no, just no, you can go buy yourself a tarot deck. And you do not need to start out with the normal one, with the normal tarot deck, but you can if you like. I know I didn't. I hated this deck. When I saw the images on this deck, I was like, disgusting, no thank you. But then later, I bought it. So yeah, let me show you with what deck I started out. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of story time. You didn't come for a story time, but it's only gonna be like 30 seconds, how I started learning tarot. Basically, I felt drawn to the cards. I kept getting tarot readers on my For You page on TikTok, and I was just like, oh, what is it about this? They're so accurate. I was like, what is it about this? And then I remember these are the cards that my dad had when, like, years ago, like 10 or something. I was like really small, like 10 years ago or something. Like he bought them 15 years ago, but he didn't have a child until like, wait, no, he did. Wait, never mind. I was like 1 year old when he bought it. I'm 15 now. I'm turning 16, 29 July. Just wanted to say, if you're confused. Basically, while I was living with my dad and my mom, because right now I live with my mom and stepdad. Parents are divorced. But when I was living with him, he used to like have these cards. I thought they were playing cards, but he told me not to play with them. I was like, okay. And they're Croatian tarot decks, because I'm Croatian if you didn't know. And it was the first Croatian tarot deck ever, and you can't get it anymore. You cannot get it anymore. And I'm missing one card. That's the thing. I'm missing one card. Like, my dad lost it. So, you can only buy it secondhand if you manage to find it in Croatia from, like, a seller or something. Because they do not produce this anymore. They do produce the tarot book with the explanation, because I have 2 of them. Because the old one for my dad was ripped up. And I ordered a new one. And I thought the cards come with it. I got the book and I emailed them, like, and the cards, and they were like, we no longer are able to get them. They no longer produce them. And I was like, oh wow, fuck. But okay. So basically, that was the story. And oh yeah, no, I didn't even tell the story. Basically, what happened was, well, I was in Croatia because I live in Belgium, right? But right now we're July, so like in December of 2022, I was on vacation in Croatia, and then I stayed there until like April. And there I learned about spirituality and everything. I entered spirituality and everything. And I don't know, one day I just thought of these cards and I was like, Dad, didn't you have tarot cards? I remember when I was a kid, you had tarot cards. I just felt this sudden, I don't know, the cards were like calling my name. And I got them, I started like shuffling. I was shuffling, I didn't know how to shuffle, so I was like, I didn't know how to shuffle at first. And I was also, you can also like, wait, let me position this like this. You can also like, split the deck like this or something. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways to shuffle. I just do it like this because it's the easiest. But I remember when I was starting out, I didn't know how to shuffle at all. So don't worry if you don't know how to shuffle. Let me teach you how I shuffle. So you can do that. It sometimes gets messy. You could also bend them like that, and then just pop them back. Yeah, but I don't really like bending new cards, and especially these ones, because they're so old and you cannot get them anymore. But then I'm like, it's just cards, you know what I mean? But also, like, these are really special to me because they were my first ones and everything. They were with me throughout this journey, through my spiritual journey and everything, and also just like for my dad and everything, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's that. And you do not need to have like 30 tarot decks to start reading tarot. That is not mandatory. You can have one deck for the rest of your life. That is not mandatory at all. But I want to talk about a few things. So on Patreon, I teach how to like learn tarot in depth, how to read it. It's $15 a month on my psychic Patreon. So if you're interested in more in-depth explanation on how I tell you how to really read the cards, the meanings, how to connect with your intuition and everything, Patreon. But I will be going what's it called? Going after, right? Or something, bitch, bye. A few basics, yeah, right? Going after. Saying some few basics. Let's just say that. So, let's start with the first one. You do not need to be gifted a tarot deck, as I said. The second one, what is the difference between a tarot deck and an oracle? An oracle is like this deck. This is Archangel Michael's oracle. It basically has the words on it. It basically has words on it and sentences. So let me get my other oracle deck. You see how it says star ancestors and everything like that? That's the difference between an oracle and tarot deck. Tarot deck is, it can have words on it, but the words such as the Empress and things like that, things that are in the tarot deck. Or it could also be, like in this other tarot deck, this is Witch's tarot deck. Let me find a card. For example, here it's called the Wheel of the Year, but it's the Wheel of the Fortune. It's the same thing, it's just different name, and this does not make it an oracle deck. Oracle deck is when it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it just like, it just when it does not have major or small arcanas, whatever you want to call them, because tarot has small and major arcanas. I'm gonna explain them right here, but I go in depth on Patreon what they mean. But I'm just gonna explain what is a major and what is a small arcana, whatever you want to call it. So we got the Three of Pentacles, that is a small one. And we got Justice, that is a big one. So the big arcanas, there's 22 of them. The other, there's, let me do my math real quick. There's, I think like 56, yeah. Because there's 78 cards. And the major arcana is 22 cards, and the mini one, the small one, is 56. So yeah, that's that. Also, you need to connect to your deck. You cannot just buy a deck and start reading really accurately. You need to connect to it. I teach more on that on Patreon. But yeah, if you want to learn more about tarot and how to read it from a professional, me, if you've seen my readings on TikTok or if you've booked with me, you know my readings. Every card hits. Matter of fact, let me pull some cards right now for the people watching this. Let me make you shook so you know that I'm legit, so you don't think you're gonna get scammed on my Patreon or by me. Let me pull some cards. Did you see how that flipped immediately? We got the Hermit in reverse. You were lonely for a little bit, but now you're coming out of your shell, the Star. You're coming to the light, you're coming into the spotlight. You could have already had a little bit taste of your fame on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. There's more to it, because you want to be famous. You want to be well known for your healing abilities. I see some of you guys want to be a famous tarot reader. Do it. Learn tarot and do it. I see some of you want to be Reiki practitioners or witchcraft, witches. Do it. I also teach witchcraft on Patreon, link in bio. Let's see what else. Let me see what's your zodiac sign. Okay, we got the Two of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. you have Earth and fire sign placements. So I'm hearing Sun Leo, Moon Taurus, and Rising Sagittarius, but it could be different. I could have guessed one of them because there's probably gonna be like a lot of people watching this. You know what I mean? So yeah. Oh, I can't. These cards you cannot bend them. Let's see what else. Let me pull one more card. Seven of Pentacles. You're very motherfucking hardworking. You're very, very hardworking. Major Leo and Sagittarius energy. You could also have your Venus in Aries. I don't know why that just popped up in my head, but yeah. And we got the Nine of Wands. I'm also seeing your what's it called? Your Lilith could be in Scorpio or Leo. Just my intuition was telling me. That's what my intuition is telling me. And also, I just want to say about tarot, there's two ways to read it. There's the traditional way, so the traditional meanings of each card. For example, let me find a card. Because I don't read traditionally. I do not read traditionally. What's traditionally is, 11:11 on the clock. Traditionally is basically like the traditional meanings, as I said. So, for example, if the Magician pops out and that card means manifesting or something, for example, every time you pull that card, you're going to be like manifesting every time, which is boring for me. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not going to do that. Or this is like rock bottom, back pains and everything. That's traditional meaning. But for me, I don't do that. I read intuitively. So I read based on what my intuition tells me. I look at the cards, but for example, for your personal reading, I pull Magician. And for myself too, it's two different meanings. Traditionally, it could mean like manifesting, but for me, it's two different meanings. I look at the context and everything. That's how intuition works. It's all about the context and just about what your intuition is telling you. Yeah. That's another thing I wanted to say. And as I said, anyone can read tarot. Anyone can read tarot, and you can start right now. You can go buy your tarot deck, or you can make one yourself. You can print it out, or write on a paper all the cards out. You do not have to have the images. I just love having the images. But yeah, you can go buy a tarot deck on Amazon for like $20. Go subscribe to my Patreon for $25. No, not $25. Sorry, that's visualization tier. I'm sorry, $15. So for $35, pardon, you can literally start learning tarot. But also, I've seen these decks like in shop like go for like $10. So like around $20, $30, $40, you can literally start learning tarot right now. So yeah, Patreon is in my bio. And yeah, go go follow me on TikTok, and Instagram. I'll link everything down in the bio. King of Wands. Ooh, your ego been acting up the last 14 days. Something fell on the floor. I'm gonna scream because it's the same card again. The King of Wands and the Seven of Cups. You should start reading tarot right now is what I'm getting, because over the next 7 days you're gonna learn a lot from it. So from when you're seeing this, start reading tarot. Go buy yourself a deck, subscribe to my Patreon, and start learning tarot. So let me show you one more time how I shuffle. Basically, you can shuffle like this. That was messy. You can shuffle like normally, or you can shuffle like this. And I also want to say you should knock on your deck 3 times. That's for cleansing. Every time you're doing a client's reading or for yourself or someone else, so any energies from that reading is gone. Sound cleansing. And also you want to cast a circle every time you do a reading. Every time before you do a reading. Circle, so no other energies or entities, I just said energies, entities, or spirits can get into that circle and mess with your readings. Because if you do not know about trickster spirits, there's a lot of them. And they basically give you false signs and mess up your tarot readings. And it's really important to cast a circle, because imagine if you're reading for advice or something on what you need to do about a specific situation or person, and a trickster spirit comes and gives you the wrong answer, and it messes everything up. Because I've been there. Yeah. Especially in spell work. So Cast a circle. I teach how to do that on my psychic Patreon, also in my normal Patreon and my witchcraft. But if you want to just learn tarot, psychic Patreon, the first tier, $15 a month, is the way to go for you. So link in bio, and I hope you can learn something. I hope you can learn something, and I hope you learned something from this video. But yeah, wait, let me show y'all how to shuffle with big oracle deck, even though it's the same thing. So basically what you do is you just put your thumbs right here and you kind of like let it go. You know what I mean? And here you just, how do I show this? Like this. You see 2 fingers on one side, your thumb down there, and this finger just on top. And then with this finger, you take the cards. And you don't want to shuffle aggressively like this or something. You want to shuffle like slowly, you know what I mean? Because you do not want to be forcing the cards out. And do not go flipping your deck like this or something when you're shuffling. You don't want to turn the cards in reverse. It's supposed to do it itself. That's not how tarot works. It is a divine feminine practice, and it's supposed to work slowly and calmly. It's supposed to be shuffled calmly like this. I know sometimes I do like really quickly, but I don't mean you can't do it quickly. I mean you cannot do it like, you cannot throw the cards. That's what I mean. You can do it like quickly like me. You just don't go like throwing the cards or trying to get like the cards like this to fall out, because your readings are never gonna be accurate. You're gonna keep getting false things. So that's just a thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, check out my links down below, subscribe to my Patreons, and I'll see you next time.